Indian River County. My name is Cindy Emerson, your Director of Instructional Innovation for the School District of Indian River County. Today, we have Insights to Innovation, exploring career and technical education here in our public schools. I have some special guests with us today. Our career and tech specialist from Vera Bean High School, Mr. Tom Lang, and I have two teachers who started our pilot program for our Entrepreneurial Boot Camp. And now let's start with Tom Lang, our CTE specialist right at BBHS. Hey Tom, how are you doing today?
Pretty good, Cindy. How are you?
Really good. Can we start with just your background in education and what brought you into career and tech?
So I started as an English teacher at not Vera Beach High School, at Sebastian River High School. And when I first started, we had what they called academies. And they were broken down between either business programs or culinary or automotive, and it was, we had the same kids all the way from 10th through 12th grade. And I found that the idea of career and technical education within these students, within our programs, like really helped set our students up for success. They were a team from 10th grade all the way through. The teachers were a team, and some tasks that you might think would be insurmountable in, say, a math classroom or a concept in a science classroom, that would, it may not necessarily be important to students. It was, comparatively speaking, to an automotive classroom or a nursing classroom. So you saw students excel. So when the opportunity came up, I applied for the position, for the CTE specialist, got it, and it's been amazing ever since.
And you've had some great successes this year. Can you share with our audience some of the amazing things that have happened in CTE? Yeah,
I mean, we did some amazing things. The pandemic, as with pretty much everything, we saw the numbers in our classes decline, but now they're back up at full capacity. We're really excited about that. Mm-hmm. We have over 2,500 students in high school that are in CTE classes, wow, which a lot of people just don't know about. Mm-hmm. This year we had over 1,000 certifications earned in our CTE classes, and we have more opportunities than ever. So students are graduating with not just one, but maybe two or even more. I know some students at Sebastian River High School had 8 certifications in the automotive program.
Wow,
so,
and how does that set them up for success post-secondary?
So the certifications are state, there's a whole process to get a certification, but it's an industry recognized standard, and students test, whether it's in our nursing classes, they take the CNA exam. Mm-hmm. In our automotive classes, as I was just talking about, they take an entry-level exam that gives them a certificate that shows that they know the entry-level concepts within, like a steering and suspension system or brakes, or so all of it is industry standard, and we have to have them in all of our programs, and the students really work hard for them.
And I know that some of the parents have reached out to me because we've been marketing too well for our programs, and they're having a hard time getting them into some of these classes. Yeah. What are some of the experiences you did this year to help showcase the career and tech programs? So
we received a grant for the entrepreneurship grant from the state of Florida, and we had a symposium, and the symposium was a chance to not only introduce the idea of entrepreneurship as not just a concept or a program, or it was the idea of having students starting to think like entrepreneurs, failing, mm-hmm, then succeeding, right, then even when you succeed, finding how you could be better, and just the constant the constant idea of just finding the best path forward, and that it's never done. And so not only did we do that, and we had some amazing speakers from around the county, but we also showcased our CTE programs, and it was a lot of fun. We had some interesting pictures inside of a plane that our digital video team did from Vera Beach High School. We had our automotive teachers do some amazing things, and get anyone who visited inside the cars that we have, mm-hmm, that show how to do certain things, and like how a circuit goes from just the blinker all the way through and lights up the dashboard. So we were able to showcase those programs, and we hope to do so in November coming up, and March as well.
Awesome. I know my son really enjoyed coming to the event. Right when you walked in, there was just the aroma of garlic and oil. The culinary team from both high schools was working collaboratively and cooking these pasta dishes that were just out of this world.
They were almost too popular. Yeah, we had a huge line waiting for the amazing dish that they were preparing, and yeah, our teachers were there, but it was our students that were doing the putting on the show.
I think that's what was most impressive, like watching the students behind Vera Bean outside of Vera Beach High School, creating their coffee concoctions and their delicious beverages. It was a great experience, I think, for our community to be able to see that.
Just that in particular, it was really cool to see that put into action, where I gave the teacher, hey, can you make the Vera Bean, mobile? And she did, and she came up with the concepts, the ideas, and the students helped, and they put into action. It was really awesome to see that business like really adapt. So
Absolutely.
That was kind of what we've been talking about all year. So.
And I know that you've taken the programming beyond the regular school year, and that's really what we're here to talk about today. What kind of innovation have you been bringing to summer programming for Indian River?
Well, we had two programs, one up in the north end of the county, which was our drone camp, and that was geared from 6th to 9th graders to try and bring the concepts of aerospace science and technologies through the use of drones to our students, so they can feel more comfortable going into our aerospace technology program up at Sebastian River High School. The possibilities in that field are endless, especially being that close to the Cape. We're right below Brevard County, which is just a giant hub. So that was really cool. And then at the south end of the county of Vera Beach High School, we had our entrepreneurship boot camp that just ended yesterday. And we had two amazing instructors really take on some I think a really challenging curriculum, and we had a bunch of middle schoolers in there, 6th to 9th graders, and to see the ideas and the concepts that to some would seem pretty tough, really, they really excelled at it. And yesterday we had our presentations in Shark Tank, and the kids did an amazing job.
Yeah, I was so fortunate to be there to see the final 4 presentations, and it's amazing to see. We had kids they're entering 6th grade this year, and they went into an entire business concept and were pitching their ideas to the Sharks. What curriculum was used for that?
We teamed up with Junior Achievement. The curriculum was amazing. It really kind of took the student from the idea of a business or how to solve a problem, and then putting it together into a business plan that they presented. It was really interesting to see, a rising 6th grader see the curriculum and the vocabulary, and then be able to see it personified and in action within a Shark Tank episode, and then other videos that they suggested and had a part of their curriculum. They like the fail videos and how people failed, and we don't think of that all the time. We think of successes. Michael Jordan being the best basketball player ever,
right?
But he failed more than he succeeded, and he'll be the first to tell you that. And so to see those ideas and those concepts come to fruition in a business plan, and a 6th grader being confident enough to sit in a room full of adults and deliver their plan and be excited about it, that was something to see.
Well, I'm going to bring the teachers on next, but I know you were one of the Sharks. What surprised you most about the presentations?
I think it was the overall confidence. I mean, just thinking back when you were in 6th grade, and to be outside of your comfort zone was pretty difficult. And just to see what I had the definite pleasure of being able to see them on Thursday or Friday the week before, and to see them on the main stage on Monday, just to see the progression was pretty amazing. and the teachers I know did a great job prepping them, so it was great.
It was one of the best experiences I've been a part of, and I've never seen parents so proud.
Oh, yes.
And
yeah.
so involving them in the final product and getting an opportunity for them to come in and see it, we're just building on these family partnerships. And I just thank you for helping create that program and getting the grants so that we can, continue to innovate in Indian River County.
I look forward to doing so.
Yeah. And next up, we have Mr. Henry Burson and Chandra Williams from Storm Grove Middle School. And welcome back to Insights to Innovation, focused on career and tech education. Today, I am now here with our teachers from our Entrepreneur Boot Camp, Mr. Henry Burson and Chandra Williams. Mr. Burson, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine.
So I know you pretty well, but why don't you tell our audience your journey into education and becoming a culinary teacher at Vera Beach?
Okay. I have a nice, unique journey on how I got into education and everything else. When I graduated, I am a product of Vera Beach High School. I graduated in '99, and I took the culinary arts program. So I went through the CTE program through my 10th grade and my 12th grade year. So I graduated, didn't have a clue on kind of like what did I really wanted to do. I didn't go to college and everything else, but I did make sure I got right into the job force. So me being, I like to eat and cook, I was cooking with my mom since I was 9 years old. So that was pretty much, I knew I had a passion for. So I ended up applying to this country club called Grand Harbor, not knowing that I was going to be there for 15 years. So of course I was ambitious and everything else. I wanted to be a cook, but they didn't want to hire a 19-year-old cook.
Right.
But the guy told me, the chef said, you know what, I have a position, a dishwasher position for you, and let's see how you do there. So I was pretty much dedicated. I had the passion because I knew what I really wanted to do. So after he seen that passion and that drive I had, after 4 months, he went ahead and promoted me to a cook. So right then, he started grooming me to be everything that I could be as a chef.
Wow.
I've been there for 15 years. I did the stocks, soup, sauces. I ran every station that they had in the kitchen, the grill, the saute area, the pantry, and everything else. So I just loved that what I was seeing was start to come to fruition, that I can share with other kids and everything else. So I was there for 15 years. And of course, you work your butt off when you're in the hospitality field. So me, I'm dedicated to my family. So I told my wife in 1 year, I said, you know what? I want to have something a little bit different, a little bit of change, so I can at least spend my time with you guys, over Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, all those holidays. So I got into the school district back in 2014. So needless to say, it wasn't the same job title that I had as a cook. I was in the custodial field. So being a custodian, that pretty much kind of humbled me because I pretty much had goals and endeavors in my mind on what I really wanted to accomplish and achieve. So 1 year, I went to my principal, which was Miss Cindy Emerson. As a custodian, I say, look here, I got this opportunity that I can go to school and get my culinary arts degree. And you even saw the potential that I had, as a custodian, like you can be doing something better than this. But it was an honest work. So I went to custodial school, I went to culinary arts school and got my degree at Virginia College. So I stayed with that degree still in my mind. I said, you know what? I want to try to utilize my culinary arts degree within the school district. You know what? Something came up back in 2021. Needless to say, I had that 3 years. But I kept that in my mind saying that I wanted to do this for the kids. And an opportunity came where I was a Vera Beach High School culinary arts teacher.
So you're now done. You have year 1 as a culinary teacher under your belt.
Finally, I can breathe now. I'm not treading water.
And you got to take part in our pilot program as a teacher for the Entrepreneurial Boot Camp. So we're going to come back to that.
Right.
But I want to talk to you, Miss Chandra Williams. What has your journey been into education?
So I am also a product of Indian River County. I graduated from Sebastian River High School in 2009. And then I went on to study marketing at Alabama State University. But while I was at Sebastian, I too took part in the CTE program. I did communications and marketing, and I graduated with my marketing certificate. And then being in that, I kind of figured out like, hey, I like business. I want to continue in this. So when I went to Alabama State, I majored in marketing as well. I graduated in 2017, and then I decided to go overseas for a year and a half and work overseas. And then I came back to Indian River County and I started as a long-term sub. And then I went into ESC, the co-teach model. And then I did the next year ESC support facilitation. And then to this year, my third year, I joined the CTE family.
I just love that both of your stories are grounded with being graduates of Indian River, partaking in our career and technical program, and now you get to give back by being teachers of career and tech. So we had a really exciting opportunity this year with a grant for entrepreneurship, and you two happened to be our teachers of our boot camp this summer, working with middle school students. So Chandra, can you tell me how did that go, working with middle schoolers this summer with such a complex topic of entrepreneurship?
Well, I'm kind of used to working with middle school students because I am a teacher at Storm Grove Middle School. So it was kind of easy for me. But I had to help Mr. Burson a little bit because he's used to high school students and they are a total different ballgame. But what I did was bring in some components from my class, and then he brought in some components from his class, and we used the curriculum that was provided to us, and we also created our own curriculum. So we started off the first week by doing activities where the kids learned about themselves, what kind of thinker they are, how do they learn, personality tests, just so they can figure out, okay, who am I as a person?
I love that.
Then we tied it into communication, being able to communicate. It's very important for you to be able to communicate, especially when you are an entrepreneur, because you have to go out into the field and communicate with different people. And so the next week, because it was a 3-week program, we went into professionalism, how to stand, your posture when you're speaking. And we also had a special guest, which was our camp director, Mr. Lane, come in and talk to the kids, and they were able to ask him questions, tricks and things of how they could, when they got up to do public speaking, instead of looking directly in the face, you could look at the back of the room, or if they had like papers or cards, glance down, but still kind of make eye contact with your audience. So we just taught them little tricks like that. And then the following week, we talked about being a leader and how important it is when you are an entrepreneur to be a leader in the community, because people are always watching you. And that really helped us when we began the program.
Well, I got to see the final 4 presentations, and they were so poised and well-spoken. They utilized technology in their presentations when they delivered it to the Sharks, and their parents were in the room. So I can imagine that they were nervous. Henry, what did you do to get the students set up to be able to deliver such a professional, I guess, pitch of their products?
Right. Some of the things about it is, like Ms. Chandra said, Ms. Williams, you have to know who you are. You know, transparency is good. And like we tell the kids, it's okay if you kind of a little bit nervous and you may mess up with everything else, but you just keep flowing and growing after that. And sometimes we practice before we even had the Shark Tank program, even, you know, had it on that same day, and just get up and speak in front of the class and just say your posture, make sure you kind of making eye contact, you know, kind of look over their heads and everything, and just making sure they're sure of themselves.
Yeah, that feedback cycle is so important for them to be able to get some constructive criticism, grow and learn from it. What project surprised you most?
I would have to say I have 2. So the projects that surprised me the most were definitely our 2 5th graders going into 6th grade. They really learned from the techniques that we showed them. And at first, like, one of the techniques that we showed, they thought was like really silly. When you get up and you're like, we would tell them to, like, people in the audience to clap to make them aware that they're saying and that really helped them, because as the time go on, they kept practicing and practicing. They were made aware, and they tried to, like, eliminate those pauses as much as possible. two sixth graders definitely surprised me. I did not think they were going to do as well as they did, but they did wonderful.
Can you tell the audience what they had? Because they had full products that they were trying to sell. I was surprised by, one, the professionalism of it, their marketing, but also the quality of their products. So please share with the audience what those fifth graders developed.
So they developed body scrubs, body oils, and lip scrubs. They did their own research. They found out what oils work for your skin or even help you sleep at night. They took the time and they just did their research, and they brought it to me and Mr. B, and they would say, hey, we need this oil, that oil, this oil. Right. And we just made sure that they had the supplies that they needed. And then the second week when we went into prototyping, they went and watched YouTube videos of how to build their products, and they just kept testing it until they got exactly what they wanted.
Oh my goodness. And all natural ingredients.
All natural.
Everything smelled so delicious. Yes. I mean, I was so surprised when I saw those products. I wanted to buy every single one of them. You know, I think what surprised me most was just the ability to take it right from, you know, the end of this camp right into the young entrepreneur market over at the Environmental Learning Center. They literally can start their business now thanks to the two of you. But you said there was two. So what's the other one that surprised you?
It would definitely have to be our Smart Scan, and that is our student who is going into 8th grade. He is developing a ODB scan, but instead of like the ones that are out on the market now, it gives you a code and you have to go research what that code is. His product will allow you to know exactly what it is once you plug it in.
Yeah, if there's something wrong with your car.
You know exactly what it is. You know how to fix it. And it also, if you don't want to fix it, it will allow you to connect you with mechanics so you don't get price gouged on whatever it is to fix your product.
I was blown away, and I think that the family that was there to support that young gentleman was also blown away. They want to get that patented right now. And I know that you were really surprised with that product as well. Can you share a little more about how he developed that and what his thought process was?
Michael, he was a great innovator. You know, he is a good critical thinker. And one thing about him, he always do his research about it. And one thing that I made a connection with, he says he always worked with cars with his dad, fixing cars and everything else. So he's pretty much familiar with the automotive field. And like you had asked me, make sure he takes the automotive CTE program when he comes. But I say, don't forget about culinary arts as well. But he is an incredible kid, and we were just glad just to have him. And he's always talking about cars, on how to fix it and everything else, and making sure, like Ms. Williams said, his prototype was like, it can tell you everything that is wrong with the car and just instead of giving you a code. It actually tell you what needs to be fixed.
I love that. It was so personalized, a personalized mechanic to walk you through step by step how to fix it on your own.
Right, and also he said he was going to have certified technicians, not just some random guide on YouTube just telling you on about cars and everything else. So he's going to have certified technicians that is in that field and actually is going to tell you how to fix that car.
Well, we had some great guests that were there. We had members of Junior Achievement. We also had the Director of Engineering from Piper Aircraft there, Mark Ouellette, who's been a fabulous partner. And I know his eyes lit up when he saw that we have a student entering in 8th grade that is coming up with concepts like that. So he was definitely encouraging him to do our dual enrollment program at Vera Beach High School down the road with Embry-Riddle. But I can't thank both of you enough for putting together the entire program and committing to 3 weeks over summer to work with these kids to develop these entrepreneurial mindsets. So I just want to thank both of you for helping us continue to take insight to innovation. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you learned something new and innovating about Indian River County.